Hello. Shalom. Again, this is Michael D. to the Whitmore. First, giving all honor and praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, the Lord and Savior, that's the Father and the Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And if anybody has been following me at all, and listening to these podcasts, I understand what this is about. So I'm just here to edify those, like the Bible says, the lost sheep of Israel, those that maybe know they are Israelites, or maybe those who don't know they're Israelites. And you just happen to catch what I'm doing here, or maybe have caught other things, just to further push this move along as it's supposed to be done, as the Lord wills. Let's see, first off today, which is August 7th, I'm going to start off here, because here recently I've been noticing, because I still right now I play for a church, which of course please believe it, my understanding and knowledge of Almighty Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai is not coming from the church, so that's just where place of employment. Unfortunately, it's not a place of worship as we all thought it would be. We all thought it was, but really it's just a place of business. So, considering how, we mostly come up, a lot of us black folks come up in that system of having, the black church as our, I guess you would say, our foundation, so to speak, of, our culture. I guess even when the gang culture even blew in, it was still something prevalent. However, we don't seem to understand right now at this point the church is making buku dollars, and while the economy is going down, if these cats that are so tremendously blessed were really truly calling upon the righteous name, well then I think something would be evident of change. Because there's no time in history that the Lord never heard His people calling. So, you have to ask yourself that question. And so for me, as I've, grown and just lived life, I've seen all of these prophecies that I remember reading about when I was very, very young in the Bible coming to pass. So I have to wonder, why are all these people talking about peace and make this better for the future and all of this? Because, quite frankly, the word says all of this that's happening got to happen for this thing to end on the note that He said it would. So, ultimately what's going to happen is what He said. Right now, in the black church today, they're really trying to hold on to the old way of things, and it can't really see the new season. Because right now you want to go for uplifting more so than the truth. And the truth, they say the truth hurts, but the truth is also what sets you free. And, the misrepresentation of Yahweh Shai, who is ignorantly called Jesus Christ, which is not His name. That's a title, also the name of His Son, God. So, I think name, that's, which I'll get into here in a second. Names are very, very important. And if anybody has, if you read Psalms, man, like Psalms is littered with the word Lord. And the word Lord is not really there. It's what they did to take out to make it readable for everybody so they could read it and speak it. If you go through the original writing, the Paleo-Hebrew, that scribe, actually the name itself, Yahweh, is there. And so David always called on Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. So I would have to believe, going from David, fast forwarding to Yahushai's time, when he told them to say the Lord's Prayer, that prayer would include the name. Because right now the name is totally excluded. We're just saying randomly, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So sacred is thy name. Holy is thy name. But we're not going to talk to you as if you are holy and your name deserves that recognition, because we go back to David in the Psalms. He's consistently dropping the Lord's name. So it's not taking the Lord's name in vain if he gave it to you to call upon. So I think, going back to the old original, what he spoke his name to be is what we should be speaking his name to call upon him today. And that's pretty much my point I'm making today. First, I want to start with, what is this? I want to go to Jeremiah 12. Actually, no, we go back. Actually, I'm going to start at 6. 6. And it's a lot. 6 and 16. And this is Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Now, right there within that verse, thus saith Yahweh. So this is the Most High himself speaking. Stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. So first off, you got to be even looking in the Lord's direction to even, get on what he needs you to be doing. And right now it's being so much, I could just look through Facebook and see random, like, I got blessed with this money. The first thing they call them things that you talking about is dollars. They call them dead presidents. That's that's a dead idol. It's currency because they make it currency, but it's a necessity. It's a tool. It's something you have to use. It is nothing to sit up here and put all of your faith and hope on. So I'll go back and read this one more time. Thus saith the Lord, and that would be, thus saith Yahweh, stand in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Pretty much that's what we have right now. And it's basically because of the way people are being led. So right now, if you would offer the truth, people would bypass your truth and just say, give me something that makes me feel good. Because there's been a lot of people that's been hurt. But it's because you keep looking for a new way. You got to look for the old way to get some healing. If you're just going to keep driving the knife deeper and deeper and deeper, you're only going to saw off your leg until you get to the bone. I mean, you know, stop cutting your own flesh by your own foolishness try searching to make yourself feel better. Like, you got to first take the medicine to get to where you need to be. And all your medicine is right here in these scriptures if you are African American, Native American, or Latino. Now, right now, there's a few things that they try to go through the whole thing about how, and then this is the funny thing of what they do. When they go back and blood test a lot of these Indians, they go get these so-called white Indians and do blood tests and then say, well, your blood has nothing to do with the blacks here, so how can you guys be the Israelites? It's like, you know, don't be fooled on that mess for a second. You know, they know who people is. You know, it's all propaganda. However, one thing they do know is that you African American, you Negroes are for certain of this book, clearly. So, and that's another thing that, you know, you see is feared out here, because as you see this world coming down and this whole structure coming down by Esau, which is known, you know, would be widely known as the white man, although they have everybody fooled if they're not. Well, actually, I can't really say they got people fooled. You just, you know, refuse to see the truth about the situation. Anybody that's willing to have you in slavery for 400 years, and you have to have laws on the books to make sure your voting rights ain't tampered with today, they ain't your friend, nor will they ever be. Now, don't get me wrong. There may be some that sit up here and say, well, you know, I don't see how that's right. I don't see how that's wrong. And I have black friends. Well, that's all fine and dandy. But when you know, push comes to shove in them levees or wherever you stay at in this world, that flood come rushing in, man. Are they going to have your back? Or who you going to be looking to? Because at this point, Uncle Sam done has you run every option that you got off. Destroy your home, get the man out the house so you can get the money, and everything else that comes with that. And it's nothing but problems. And then you get fed into that by this media machine, which is the mind control box, the television, that'll continuously feed you, especially with TBN, and there are 76 satellites, will consistently feed you this false idea of salvation through this false idea of prosperity in a world that is consistently showing you it is only about oppression. And, you know, that's the problem. If nobody looks at what's really prevalent in front of your face and then just say, well, I want to feel nice, well, then, you know, you're going to have a problem. And I think right now I'm seeing, especially at the churches, some of these pastors, which, I mean, man, you know, quite frankly, they probably should leave the church system that they're in if the Lord is leading them into telling these black churches that they Israelites, because these black churches really want to stay holding fast to being African. Now, that's quite odd considering how the church is supposed to be Bible-based. But that lineage doesn't make sense if you read in the Bible, if you know anything about the sons of Noah and who the Israelites would be. Because even still, people will try to say, well, yeah, you're still African. No. No, you need to go back and go look. Look at who Ham, Shem, and Japheth were. I mean, like, that's at the beginning of the book. That's in Genesis. So, I mean, it's, you know, you got to eat this whole scroll. And so, but because people don't, here's another passage right here. Because people don't, it's easy to twist scriptures and fool people. I mean, actually, right now we got people that aren't even using scriptures. They're just spending time talking about prosperity. That's what I see every time I flip towards TV. And I could go a whole hour and watch 2 shows and see, maybe I could see like scriptures loosely referenced, but other than that, nothing. It's all, and then they have the testimonials of actors. I mean, if you don't know when you see an actors, man, come on. You turn on those old Showtime movies and watch the D-rated actors that like don't even get speaking parts in commercials, and they'll be all over plastered all over there. No, I talked to the prophet, and like the stuff that comes on BET is just ridiculous. I talked to the prophet, and he gave me such a wonderful vision. And so I sowed my seed. You need to sow yours. Now, the Lord is usually talking about heritage in His Word. Heritage and inheritance. That's not prosperity, that's heritage. Heritage? What do we know as heritage? I mean, this is like basic English. Heritage is saying your family. So the Lord was always referring to family. Why did He always make those references? Because that's what He meant. And say, well, you know, the Bible is up for in different interpretations. That's not true. Thus saith the Word itself. But let me go on. This is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 10. And it goes, many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. The people, that's meaning like these people today, in this latter day, in this last time, where these trumpets and warnings and blaring. You know, when you hear in the name of Yahweh, you hear in the name of Yahweh Shai, and they saying, hey, use the name Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's, you know, that's the name of the Father in the name of the Son. That's very simple. Now, if you use them names, if that vibration ain't even cutting through your spirit and saying, wow, that is the name of the Son, that is the name of the Father, well, then this ain't for you. And you can go back and continue to call Jesus Christ, and if that works, then so be it. Who am I to say? I just don't understand, you know. I know the Lord that deals with me, led me to His name. But I had to go looking for it. I didn't just sit back and say, okay, I got salvation. If I'm really glad, I want to make sure my election is sure. I want to make sure my footing is set. I'm not going to guess. So, but these pastors, these slick-tongued oil, snake oil salesmen, they are really, really good. There's a reason why they get millions of dollars. They ain't stupid. They're real savvy. And it says, many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness. So for the people who actually do want to be righteous and say, I'm going to stand for the Lord, like, I mean, I've been in situations myself to where I've left a lot of money on the table because that's just not, you know, hey man, trust me, having faith will, in the long run, is going to carry you through, because I can tell you, for all the things that when I was saying, hey, this looks like a good idea, but, you know, the Lord is like, nah, so we ain't going to rock like that. By being obedient, I've been able to sit here at this point that I'm at right now and look back and be like, wow, I'm so glad I listened to the Lord. And now it also gave me and built up a perfect righteous fear of the Lord, to understand, like, man, you know, being in the will is a lot. Well, being in the will is it. Being out the will is death. Period. And, you know, so that's where you're going to find me. It may look foolish to you, though. And be like, hey, why did you turn that, you know, because, I mean, right now I have, like, being a musician, You know, you're always constantly thinking about like, oh, let's make it, let's make it. But right now, the music that I've made over the past year or two, there's no market for what what I'm saying right now. So, so the Lord, you know, had me do what I do, and hopefully that platform. Well, I know that platform will arise because that's what I did it for. So just watching how everything is coming to happen, because I mean, people will be, man, we gonna be singing these new songs in the kingdom. It ain't just gonna be me, you know, it's gonna be other people, but all these people you see right now that's at the height of the kingdom, throwing up that Baphomet, they through. And don't get it twisted, there's people that like, yo, they all deal with each other, from the preachers to the politicians to the entertainers. They all down in one big basket, homie. And that's all I can tell you. Now let me go back to Jeremiah here, and this is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 11. They have made it desolate, and being desolate, it mourneth unto me. Now, right now, when you see the mourning unto you, are people like myself, and more so people like GMS and others that are sighing and crying for these abominations that we see out here, because everything that we see right now is totally against Yahweh and His commandments. Period. I mean, and we see about Russia pulling out of the whole gay thing. You know, that right there should be a real huge red flag to America, that the table is getting set against it. Nobody's going America's way, and America's looking soft. That's a sign. That's what that means, man. You know, for everybody that's not understanding how things work. So right now, at the same time that you're hearing it, you're hearing the people that's desolate, because there ain't nobody gathering around us, nobody flocking to what we got to say right now. We telling you, hey, Yahweh Shai, and you need to get right. Israelites, you Israel. Esau, you done for, and going into slavery. And all you other nations that come and pocket money off our backs, you going into slavery. You know, this world is about to be, this nation is about to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, as written and as thus saith the Almighty Yahweh. So, I mean, he already done put a stamp on it. Right now, it's either do you have faith to believe his word or not. That trumpet is blowing. Which would you rather be, on this side or that? You know, and if you want to be anything else that the world tell you can be right now, to go get in debt, going to college right now, trying to learn something when the fire. There's no jobs out there now. By the time your loans have doubled, man, you headed straight towards shackles. Shackles and stocks. And a number with a chip in your hand. That's where you headed. That's why they're trying to still get you to go in debt. They got rid of Warren Ballantyne, who was telling y'all to go file for bankruptcy now to wipe that debt off. They went ahead and put him under the bus. Go ahead and shut him up real quick, and then start coming up with all of these commercials for mortgages and loans and all of these things. That's how they get you. Excuse me. Let me continue. I'll start back at the top of the verse 11. They have made it desolate, and being desolate, it mourneth unto me. The whole land is made desolate, because no man layeth it to heart. The spoilers are come up on a high place, or on all high places, through the wilderness. For the sword of Yahweh shall devour from one end of the land even unto the other end of the land. No flesh shall have peace. Now, right now, we pretty much see that with this Trayvon Martin case. I mean, this is unrest from end to end right now. And everybody raising up. I mean, we got the cat going into the town hall meeting just the other night. at the same time, you got the dude driving on the boardwalk, just looking for people to he hopped in the car like a madman, just looking for people to run over. I mean, what's getting into people? At the same time, Obama puts the travel alert, the travel alert's going on, and we're looking for Al Qaeda. At the same time, all of this stuff inside the country is happening. So what are you really seeing? You know, and I just gotta tell y'all, man, y'all got to be mindful. Y'all got to be mindful of the time you are in, because the Lord ain't gonna turn away His face, and He will not acquit the wicked. So to keep going towards that path, just makes no sense. And this is Zechariah or chapter 8, verse 14. And actually, let me go back. I'll start at verse 13. And it shall come to pass that as you were cursed among the heathen, O house of Judah, or Yehudah, the house of Israel, so I will save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Now, I'm sure a lot of people probably wouldn't understand what that means, but it means it'll come to pass. Because right now, Judah's hand, no Negro hand is strong. Because, you got cats out here that's saying Trayvon deserved it, and I'm not coming to bat for the boy one way or the other. I'm just saying that this kid clearly had the right to defend himself, and the way I always seen this case was that Trayvon Martin was standing his ground. Anybody who was following me in the car, I'm going to be like, what's really going on with this dude? So, I mean, that's insanity right there. You would look like somebody's going to snatch you. Who knows? But let me continue. The verse 14. For thus saith Yahweh, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith Yahweh, and I repented not. So again I have thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem, and to do the house of Judah. Oh, I'm sorry, Salah. And to do the house of Judah. Fear ye not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith Yahweh. Well, that's pretty clear. And that's Zechariah chapter 8, 13 through 17. I think I'll go back to my previous point with Jeremiah 6 and I think that's 17, or 6 and 16, about standing in the way and looking for the old paths. That's pretty much where the Lord took me on my journey through this thing, is looking at the original, trying to find the original Hebrew script as I could find. And Lord, Lord blessed me with it. And now I've just been going through the rough task of, self-teaching, but the Lord has been blessing, to make that a fairly easy task, so it is something that is, and this is nothing that, I've ever done before. So, it's just the spirit that I'm, just following and doing what I'm doing what I'm given. And so again, I'm just trying to edify best as I can for those who know me and been trying to figure out like what's going on with this brother. This is what it is. So, again, we're not African. you know, it makes it real easy because we can say, well, that's a big continent. What nation are you? What tribe are you? Like, from what group of people are you? There's no group on that continent that actually claims us. I think there was a brother that came out years ago trying to get people to move to Africa, and that was a big kick. But it still didn't go over well because these people here, it's like, do we really feel like Africa's our home? No. Why? Because it never was. That's a place of exile. So that was a hiding place. And that didn't work out too well. So going back to Africa doesn't seem like a great plan. I think I'd rather wait on the Lord's rescue when He destroys this place and gets us up out of here. And as you can see, these cats is pushing for this world war. Because as in Revelations, talking about how we're going to be in the midst of wars. There will be wars and rumors of wars. That means you'll be at war with rumors of other wars. There's only one place, and that's this great bloody city that we live in called America, which nobody wants to believe that this place is going down. This place is wicked as all get out. And right now, your churches are full of wicked men. The Israelite nation got more wicked niggas. Because at the end of the day, when the man who got all the money and the power say, hey, these things we want you to do, we'll make it a little bit easier for you. Well, these cats is ready to sell out. And don't think for a second, I came up with a few that would, given the opportunity, would bail out in a flash. But let me tell you, for me, having been amongst one of the people that see what it is, and chose to take not of the devil's business, which it really is. That's all it is. And people like, oh, it's entertainment. No, it's not. You can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself because you're an outsider. But no, it's not. And, to be one to turn down a deal, and not be an Israelite would probably be a very dangerous thing. But I mean, with these elect, they pretty much just have to walk away from you. But, we got the information we need. But man, this place is wicked as all get out. And you better understand that when they talk about the devil, now, and it's funny, I used to go back to, they talked about white devil. When you say white devil, I wouldn't put no term on it. Because as the Lord said, there's wicked man amongst Israel. So, however, that spirit is of Esau, so that's what it is. And that's who the Lord hates. The Lord hates Esau, which, would be your white man of today. It's not my place or my position or my right to change what the Lord has already spoken for the sake of how it suits me. And anybody who does truly don't fear the Lord, choose to do wickedness. Say, man, I'm not going to choose to do that because, my friend over here is in this way, my relative over here is like that, so I'm going to be down with this. Yo, you don't have to be down with nothing. You don't have to go down, beating down somebody's door. I'm going to kill you because you're in here a sinner. You over here homosexual, you over lesbian, you an adulterer. A murderer, you might want to get him off the block because he's just going to keep committing trouble. But you know, that's not giving up to you, because this right now, this wrath and indignation, that's why everything is built up to this point, is because this is all up in the driver's seat of the Almighty, and and his son Yahweh Shai to come back and put his foot up this place his butt, you know, and it's the truth, because look at what you see. There's no equality. Just think of, like, you go to work and you say, oh, you could see the people that have not paid your kind of dues. They go on vacation while you just take days off. It's a big difference. You know, and you guys work on the same gig. Now I don't know how it is in different places, but I know as far as here in Portland, Oregon, you know, they pretty much, this is a very extremely highly racist place. Because the demographic is like, it's whether 2 or 3% or something like that, but 95% of the arrests are black. Great U.S. of A. This is the greatest place of hypocrisy, period. You don't see that shit on Portlandia, though. They don't show you about the police. I mean, because you can't drive in your own neighborhood, which has always been known to be black, for the sake of gentrification, for what they've done to, you know, this town. They plan to move millions and $1 billion of light rail, and you know, the hood is where the stadiums are. So eventually you knew you was going to move the hood out. But it's funny. Portland Public Schools has a building right across the street. They never seem to have no worry about them going anywhere. They moved the brewers in. Now granted, they're local businesses, but they're not owned by anybody from that community. So, you know, that's just the things, like, you know, I've been able to see here in the city of Portland, which anybody knows how this goes down up here. They don't give a crap about us. So, you know, it's very clear to see how these curses are in this book once you start really, really, really digging in and getting into the word, even back to, like, Deuteronomy, when Moses was giving the prophecies about how things are going to be at this latter day. Even Job. And you know, it's like, if you turn on the TV right now, where is your uplifting feeling coming from? Is it coming from any kind of intelligent humor? Nah. See, if it's intelligent, it's raunchy. And you know, not saying I'm like, oh, you know, total clean comedy. Nah. But the subject matter, you know, Jeff, you just like, I've seen some of these cats, like, they're cussing for nothing. Which, I don't give a damn, you know, if they cuss or not. Because that's neither here nor there. That whole thing is, that whole idea of curse words, cursing has nothing to do with that. Cursing, what the Bible's referring to, is asking the Lord, or you calling up demons to be putting curses on somebody. Which you probably doing more of that in these songs of these artists that you recite. You know, that's all. I don't play no new music in my house. Like, my kids don't hear that. My kids know old school tunes. They can sing these old school records, which probably ain't too much better, but at least it's before all of this digital mess that they sneaking in 10,000 ultra frequencies and sound waves or whatever kind of mess they could do, because these people is wicked as hell, man. They do nothing else but eat, sleep, and drink inventive ways of self-destruction. You know, so if you don't understand that about where you at, you know, this is America, man. What I remember watching a movie here recently, Cleopatra, the old Elizabeth Taylor joint, and one of Mark Anthony's boys, Rufio. He's like, when have you seen, or it might have even been when he was talking to Caesar, but he asked, when have you had seen all of these ships? Actually, I'm sorry. We go back. Cleopatra's, one of Cleopatra's handlers or whatever. But he goes on and he asks, when have you ever seen, like 10,000 ships, warships made that were never used without the intent of war? And right now, we have the biggest war chest of weapons that you could probably think of. Don't have no gold, but we got weapons. So, I mean, it's a rich place because they built it off of credit and force. So, I mean, you couldn't take a land from somebody. That's a good start. So you took the land and then claimed it as yours. So there's a perfect start to a good society. Then you get free labor from your other people that you bring over here, build up the total infrastructure of this place. That's why you see it falling apart now. This place is falling apart. What happens? Look at all the metal. Look at Egypt. Look at Rome. Look at Greece. You could, Babylonian, that's pretty much just desert. So, you better look at the times and the seasons and how things are changing. This society here is over. This is a wrap. And just like people looked at, what was it, year 2000, Y2K. Oh, the world is going to end. The Lord is going to come back, Y2K. I think what people missed about Y2K, year 2000, you show enough voted George Bush in there. and there was the beginning of your war that was the never-ending war. And you just remained in war ever since. And still to this second term of Obama, you are in war. Good going, America. You got duped twice. There has been no end and no peace under these last two administrations in this country at all. Now, you want to keep your head in the sand and act like this country doesn't have to. That's nothing but death racking up at the hands of America. And act like that's not finna come back on this place. Oh no, he will revisit the vengeance of these wicked. So I would say, come out of Babylon right now. Stop using everything that they tell you. Because if you're talking about Jesus Christ, you know good and well that name came from the slave master. And we know his name ain't Allah because we ain't no Muslims. So you have to go back to the original. And the first would be Yahweh. The first four letters. Now they tried to switch it up, I see, and got slick in this new day and age. However, I have an older Bible, so I'll see what the real meanings were. So when you see Lord, that's supposed to be Yahweh. That's the tradition of that's the translation of the pronunciation of the sacred name. That's what I have. So, these things are very, very pertinent information, considering how this Bible, you consistently see him calling the Lord. So it's like, oh, well, they replace Lord or replace Yahweh for Lord. Well, then that tells me that this name, Yahweh, must really have some power. Because before Yahweh Shah was on the scene, Yahweh, man, his name was terrible amongst the heathen. So that tells me right there, if I'm hearing it around the world by everybody, and they just use this name so frequently, then that can't be his true name. And lo and behold, we searched, and we did a Bible study back when I was in high school on the history of the Bible. And that's when we found that those names, because the J didn't even show up till I think like 1600s or 1500s. So with it being such a late a late letter that was even added to the alphabet. It's amazing that right now it's something that is a figurehead and relied upon in everything that is relating to the so-called, what we say, Jews or Israel. Because there is no J in that language. So to be calling the man Jesus is almost blasphemy in my mind. Because that's a letter that came, years, centuries later. And you're using it in the place of somebody who you were trying to say is a savior of your life and soul. That just doesn't seem wise to me. It doesn't seem very respectful. And most importantly, that's definitely not what the people of old were doing. Because those people knew the name. They called it all the time. So to have the name replaced in the Bible means somebody was speaking that name all the time. So that doesn't tell you that anybody say, oh, well, the name is too sacred. That's a person who can't use it. So clearly that's a person that's not an Israelite. Because I could say Yahweh and Yahweh Shai till the cows come home. And I bet you before the cows show up, the Lord will show. But it's something that you got to have faith and believe in, that the Lord is really leading. And it's not going to happen by putting your faith in man. And, right now I've had people ask me, well, where are you getting your information? What do you mean? This information is in the Word. There are people that are teaching it. That's not how I found out. Now, granted, that's how I found out the name, but how I was on a search for the name and happened to come across these brothers at the Great Millstone. And that's how I actually came across the name. Ran across the brother in Texas, and so on and so forth. I think his brother's name is Tazapak. And man, just enjoyed the pureness of the word that they was bringing out. And I'm like, man, I've been looking for this forever, because I always wondered, why are people preaching this? The true word, like this world is coming to an end. I've grown up knowing that. When I was a kid, at the church I grew up at, which was called Maranatha, back in the 80s, we knew that the RFID chip, we knew that was the mark of the beast. That was something. So we grew up knowing that. So it's amazing to see it now, that's argued or debated. And no, that's not. No, that's mark of the beast. Be clear on that. Just as clear as I remember, because our pastor was John Garlington, and he knew Jesse Jackson. So back when Jesse Jackson was running for president, they always come to the black area and come to the big black church. So he came and spoke, and that was the first time I actually seen the Secret Service up close. That's also seeing and meeting Jesse Jackson, and just kind of getting the vibe off of him as from a kid. I remember, he didn't seem too spiritual. Let's put it that way. He seemed a lot more seemed about business, and I guess that's about the best I could give it right now that anybody could understand. But it's amazing that coming from that time at Maranatha, knowing about the New World Order and the chip and how they were trying to bring in a one world currency. These things I've known since I was a child, and it's a trip seeing people now like, where are you getting your information from? It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, I thought this was, information that everybody knew. Now, I think as I see, and some people have grown up, maybe it's that they've lost some of that knowledge, or given up on that knowledge, or backslid or something. But it's like you can talk to them now. It's like they're hearing it for the first time, and they're not believing it. Like, oh, okay, I never heard this before. Like, wow. So again, to go back to that name, because when things start going bad, and these wars start really hitting a little closer to home, whose name you gonna be calling? Because by no other name can man be saved. That's saying name, not title. So that's going directly to the old past. So you got to go to the old past to get the new one. And that's something that, today I just wanted to really stress is about the importance of that name. Because when things really go wrong and if you're not understanding where you're lining up with God's will, then you might want to, figure out what name to be calling and say, is what I have right? Are these people that are so evil to change the Lord's name? Well, you got to know they are. You got to know they are that evil to change the Lord's name on you. Now, if you put them folks in front of a congregation, you can set up generations of control. And that's purposely keeping you away from the name you need to call. You need to call on the name of the Lord for Him and to rescue you. So, that's what this is about going back to that name, Yahweh, and His Son's name, Yahweh Shai. These are the names to which you need to call on. These are the old past. This is the Hebrew speak. So, to be going on about how the name is not important. Oh, and also how to tell you the color isn't important, because most people say there's no color of the Lord mentioned in the Bible, which is wrong. Yeah, it is. It's in Revelations. The beginning of Revelations is that. So, what is that? Revelations 2? Revelations 1? This is in Revelations 1 or 2. And when they seen him, it's like, that's 2 and 18. So, you better definitely say, okay, well, if they wanted to change the color of the Father, then it must have been important to them to do. So is it not important to us when it was important to the wicked? That just one of the things to me that says, I need to go examine why did they want to change the color of this man? Why did they want to change his appearance? Why is that important? But it's important to keep these people down. That's why. What people? The people who don't know that they're tied to this man. By blood, that is. Not just by somebody telling you nice things on Sunday morning. No, what they're not telling you is that you're tied to the Savior by blood. There is your mystery. And that is probably the second biggest lie that the devil done told the world, besides he didn't exist, is that you niggas ain't Israelites. And y'all believe him. Y'all believe that these people who you see, that, I mean, because if you're looking for Israelites, you need to be looking for them big, bright-eyed folks who have curly, woolly hair because they look like lambs. Always referred to as lambs, not any other animal but lambs. Those are the people who you need to go looking for. Look in the mirror. You won't have to look too far. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, if you can't perceive this, then again, this is not for you. And, you know, today's topic was just simply about the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and not foreseeing those names and taking those names in vain like they don't exist. So what I'm saying is, seek for understanding, wisdom, and knowledge in the name and power of Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai. And right now I'd like to say double honors to the elders of GMS, which again I salute as leading champion the leading cause of the elect of Israel, and everybody out there that's really doing the work in truth, faith, and sincerity. And for all of y'all that's just waking up and getting all the edification that you can, and I guess step out on faith and embrace what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's about it. So until then, just say, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, and His Son Yahweh Shai. And till next time, shalom.